Hey everyone, what's happening? Lex back today for another Brawl Stars video, and today we are going to be talking to the voice actor for Stu, Kai Skrotzki. Did I say it right?
You did say it right. We went through it once before, and I'm glad we carried on with some correct, proper pronunciation.
Kai, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Better weather today. It's been a little bit cold. I'm glad to see it's getting a little bit warmer. How about you?
I'm doing just fantastic now that you're here, talking to the fabulous Daredevil from Brawl Stars. All right, so Kai, first off, how about you just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how the heck you got into voice acting?
Okay. About 8 years ago, I'd say, I jumped into voice acting with no training. That was spicy. Okay, so back up. I'm Canadian, right? Born and raised, haven't really moved anywhere since. So 8 years ago, got into voice acting, kind of on a whim, because my major in university was philosophy, didn't have any acting background, none of that, and I kind of just jumped into it and been kind of stumbling my way through ever since. So
you were in university for philosophy.
Yeah, I was gonna go to law school on that front, so that was the idea at least. Okay,
so almost lawyer turned, robotic stuntman.
The messed up broken brain is a feature, not a bug.
No, Stu is he's a really interesting character. But before we get too much into Stu, my son wanted me to ask you a question. Very important question. Did you ever get those 5 tokens? The 5 coins?
Oh no. You Rockstar Freddy?
Please deposit 5 coins. Thank you for depositing 5 coins.
I keep asking for deposits, and people they say they give them to me. It's never quite enough,
You're now the second Freddy that I've interviewed that has made their way over into Brawl Stars as well.
Us Freddys, we are Legion.
Speaking of just video games in general, are you a gamer? You like playing games?
I like playing. Most of my stuff is PC oriented. I played like one game on mobile. Unfortunately, it's not Brawl Stars, but what I have seen of Brawl Stars now with the character design and the gameplay and your videos and other YouTubers' videos and stuff on the subject, it looks really, really, really fun. So I might maybe pick it up. Something to think about.
Definitely ought to. But what kind of games are you into right now?
Well, right now I've been a big fan of Valheim. Yes, I'm one of those people. But yeah, right now I'm just waiting for new stuff to come out.
So speaking of video games, some of my audience were able to ask you some questions, and one of them specifically was asking about video games and asked if there was any franchise that you would personally love to voice over for a character in the future.
The big one that comes to my mind is probably something in Blizzard Entertainment, something maybe like World of Warcraft. I really like the characters that they're putting out with that game, the story and the voiceover, and just being able to work with that kind of team would be insanely cool. Cool.
Were you a WoW player?
I was one of those.
All right, great.
WoW addict.
Me too. What was your main? Come on, tell me.
My main?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day when I played it a lot was a mage.
Okay. What about you? A rogue. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We were enemies there.
Uh-huh.
So speaking of people's questions, by far the most question asked was, did you do all the glitches and weird stuff in Stu's voice, or was it done in post-processing?
I wish I could take credit for all of that. For Stu, I did a couple. There were a couple, but a large majority of the effects and the glitching that you hear was done by someone named Martin Scholler. I think that's right. Let me just do a quick.
It is Martin. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the last name. Just like Skrotzki's hard, right? We had the same problem. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. It was so fun to just work with him in that session. We were like bouncing ideas off each other, trying different things. But Martin was the go-to guy for the effects and the glitching sounds.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of people don't know that Martin actually has done, the voices for multiple brawlers in the game that are doing like weird grunts or just nonsensical sounds and stuff.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like say like Frank and Gene and Tick. So you guys, watching people ask you, when are you going to interview the voice actor for Tick? It's all effects. What did they tell you about Stu whenever you went to record it?
The description was done Daredevil robot, and the voice references I think they gave were something like Barney Gumble.
All right, Harvard, here I come.
Rocky Balboa.
Well, you used to fit right here.
I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world.
Mrs. Nesbit from Toy Story. You know when Buzz loses his arm and he goes like, I am Mrs. Nesbit, right?
You see the hat? I am Mrs. Nesbit. Snap out of it, Buzz.
So it was funny because I looked at that and I was like, what? Like, how are you gonna play that, right? Because I had a placing for that voice, right? And my voice is kind of younger sounding, so I was like, how does that hello, right? Like, how does that work?
Dude, I can totally hear that now that you said that, the Rocky Balboa reference. I can totally see that now. That makes perfect sense.
I've been hit a little too hard.
Were there some parts that you like did the stuttering and whatnot yourself, or? Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. It was something. I think the cruising for a bruising was one of them, because I remember in the session he was like, "Oh, we were gonna make him kind of like messed up and stuff like that. Like he's taken too many hits to the head." But I think one of the ones that made it was don't quote me on this because I can't confirm, right? But I think cruising for a bruising. I think it was the cruising that cruising for a, you know what I mean?
Apple here asked, what did you think Stu would look like before you recorded the lines? Did you have any idea?
I actually didn't have a reference sheet for the character. There was no picture for him, so I didn't quite know what I was getting into. When you're doing the voice for the character, right? You're trying to give it some kind of physicality that would match what would go on what you see, because that's kind of helpful, right? If the voice doesn't match up with what you see, it's kind of causes a little bit of a disconnect there. So I kind of just ran with my interpretation of the character and trusted Martin to direct me to the point where it would match with the character. I think we got there, but no reference. It was pretty much blind.
Did you guys like ad-lib anything during it, or were they just all preset lines, or did you throw some extra stuff in there?
Oh yeah. I can't help not ad-libbing something in a voiceover session. It's one of the things I love most about doing the job, is seeing where you can take the character and what you can get away with, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Martin threw in some fantastic suggestions too. I think his was because the script was all written and the additions they weren't anything like exceptionally huge, right? Like huge line changes. They were more like additions to the line. So one of his was winners munch on cold crunch. It's spectacular, right? It was winners munch on cold crunch, and then the spectacular was a reference to the cereal ads that you hear, right? So that was his idea.
All right. So another question, and this is going to put you on the spot here, but Cillian here asks, if you had to make a voice line for Stu based on his character and his other voice lines, you've got 5 seconds right now to make up a line for Stu and his character.
Spectacular Stu is coming in hot.
Nice. Obviously, you've seen some gameplay of Stu since, you recorded the line. I'm sure you're like, okay, I got to see what this guy's all about, right?
Hello, of course, have to, right? I was okay. So after the thing, I was, I didn't want to say anything about the character, right? Because Supercell wants to, it's their character. They want to do the reveal and stuff like that, right? So, I'm sitting there keeping it like not saying anything. I'm just like looking through like Google to see if it's come out yet, right? And I'm just yeah. So when the gameplay stuff came out, I was like, oh, that's really cool, because I like those kinds of things where the high mobility, being a old mage player. See how this all comes together?
Yep.
You filthy rogue. So Stu's gameplay actually would be pretty much right up my alley for a character. So if I were to play him. So I thought it was really cool.
So speaking of you being a voice actor, I also had a question for somebody they potentially interested in becoming a voice actor, and they want to know what kind of skills are most important to be becoming a voice actor.
It depends on what you want to do. I think a big one though is probably improv. Being able to kind of just roll with what's going on, because there's so many times where you'll audition for something, for example, right? And you'll do it one way, and they'll call you back and tweak it a bit, right? Or they'll change it like a lot more than you were expecting, and you have to be able to just kind of roll with that, right? If you're doing animation, for example, right? You have the lines there, like a majority of the lines, but it's always good to kind of throw in those extra lines, throw in that little something that, they didn't think about or you found in the moment. It's that kind of lightning in the bottle kind of thing that you're trying to capture, right? And I find that while a good script is really important to pushing a character, improv can add that little bit of spice that just pushes it towards, something that's just really special, so being able to roll with it and kind of just jump in and just go is, I think, probably one of the biggest things, even in commercial stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just that little bit of what makes it special, like what you bring to the read. You know what I mean? What you can do for the read.
So do you do a lot of like, commercials as well, not just video games, or?
I think most voice actors actually have to do commercial work just to survive and pay the bills, basically,
Sure.
right? That's not to say commercial stuff is not fun. There are a lot of commercial stuff that I have done that I had a great time doing. The sessions were a blast. But yeah, commercial work, I would say, makes up a majority of my work, and most voice actors will have to do commercial stuff as well.
What was your very first voiceover gig?
Oh my god.
First one that you got paid for?
That's okay. That was a while ago. That was probably over 8 years ago at this point. The one that I can remember, like definitively, that I got paid for, was a motion story thing that you could read on the tablet. The company doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, and unfortunately, it was never actually released. But it was for a Christmas Carol thing, and I got to go into the studio and record with the director there. And I got to play Scrooge's nephew, Fred. His nephew,
Okay.
Fred. I played Scrooge's nephew, Fred, and I got tacked on another role in the when we were recording. Right, they just said, "Hey, can you do this too?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Right, and I can't remember what it was. It was one of the characters that are talking when Scrooge is looking at. I think it's Christmas Future when he's, spoiler alert, in that future he's passed away.
Right.
And they're going through his stuff, right? Yeah, that was the first thing I ever did. Well, okay, that's a lie. I'm pretty sure there was something that was much smaller, but I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But that was the one that really stuck out.
So what are some of the other things that you've been in? Like other games, obviously Five Nights at Freddy, but what are some of the other stuff that you've been in that, maybe some people have heard you before?
I was lucky enough to be in My Time at Portia as the mysterious man.
Oh, another loyal customer just appeared. I am called the Mystery Salesman. Always a pleasure.
I voiced a couple characters in Heroes of New Earth.
All right.
I don't know if that's still going or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, I did a couple characters in Heroes of New Earth. I believe you can hear me in Warframe at some point as the Corpus, I think they roll in an update. I'm not sure if it's actually in there. As the Corpus crewmen, like the general guys that you shoot and kill and stuff like that. So you'll be able to hear them speaking their language and then their amazing dying sounds. Hopefully they're amazing.
Now I saw on your website, is this something that you practice, like making weird animal noises?
Oh no. Yes. I mean, it's not like a wake up and then at 10 o'clock you must practice your animal noises. You know what I mean? It's flexibility more than anything, right? So usually what will end up happening is if you're doing a job and they need something for like an animal, for example, right? You'd be like, yeah, I can do that. So it just offers some flexibility, but it's not something I would. You know what? Yeah, I practice it every day. Yeah, we gotta learn how to talk to
the
the
answer
cats
we're
properly.
looking for now, Kai.
Yeah, there
there
we
you
go.
go. You just gotta roll with it. I don't know if you have them in front of you, or if you would mind doing some of the voice lines for Stu for us.
That's what you're really here for, isn't it?
Putting you on the spot.
He wants one thing, and it's disgusting. Spectacular Stu is here for safety last. Hey kiddos, what's this? Doing it for all the lonely cats out there. Keep the tire marks as a souvenir. I'm one lean, mean winning machine. I'm only a bit broken. And because I know they're gonna probably say something, but like, spin the win, baby. I think I saw. Was it your video where you kind of predicted?
I did.
Yeah. Okay. I saw that. I saw your video and I was like, oh my god. Did somebody leak? Did it leak? Right? And I was like, how does he know? I was like, he's so close, right?
Even the guys from Supercell, like the community managers, they message me. They're like, Lex, come on. How'd you find out this stuff? Have you ever done any work for like anime stuff?
Anime stuff? Not in an official capacity. Started with like fan dubbing stuff for friends and whatnot, which was pretty cool. But nothing in an official capacity. Though that is one of the things I would love to try to get into. It's just I don't think I have the necessary equipment, especially now with COVID, right? To do that kind of stuff at home. Though that's on the to-do list. That's on the to-get list. because you need to be able to like match the lip flaps and stuff like that. Right. So if any of your audience is interested, I'm actually one of the cool things that I was working on during quarantine was painting Warhammer miniatures. Those things are really small and it's really tough to get the details in on, and the game itself is actually really fun. So I picked up some Harlequins, which are basically space murder clowns, right? And been working on painting them for the last like year or something. That's kept me sane. It was actually really cool because the pictures I put up, right, got picked up by the actual the official Warhammer community Twitter thing, and then on their I guess it would be their show on Twitch, right? They picked up and they showed it off, right, as like kind of like a show thing. So I was like, that's really cool, considering the last time I did it, I was really bad at it because I didn't thin my paint. So I have this glob of paint on these models, so they look like monstrosities, right? So it was really cool seeing that. So yeah.
That is really awesome. Yeah. All right. So Kai, where can people find you online? You know, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, any of that stuff that you got going on, so people can follow you and harass you there?
The only social stuff that I have is Twitter. So you can get me at Twitter at I think it's at Kai Skrotzki VA for the Twitter stuff. Just double check. And if you want to check me out on my website, check out some demos. Those animal demos that we will not talk about. You can check me out at kaiskrotzki.com. I know it's tough to remember. It's just
go for the cat noises, but stay for the puppy noises.
Yes, exactly. The good content.
All right, so Kai, appreciate you so much, your time coming on here and chatting with us. You guys be sure to go check him out over on Twitter, his website, all that good stuff. And that's gonna wrap it up for the video. Got anything else to say?
I just want to say thank you very much, Lex, for having me on. It was great talking with you, man. Absolutely.
I appreciate you very much. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, until next time, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out.